Students, welcome back to the session on banking institutions. So, as a part of banking institutions, we were dealing with the banking system. So, as a part of system, we will be studying public banks. So, let's see what is the public banks or how it came into existence. And it includes the history of banking system also. Okay, so public sector banks are a major type of bank in India where a majority stake is held by government. So the here main investors and the main source of stakeholders are the government. Government would have an investment in these banks. So it is the differentiated in nationalized banks and SPA associate banks. Okay. So the concept of public sector bank or say a origin of bank in India. So initially we see the roots of Bank of India rest in the first decade of 19th century when the Bank of Calcutta, which was later named as Bank of Bengal, was established on June 1806. And the Bank of Bengal and other two presidency banks, namely the Bank of Bombay and Bank of Madras, were established in the year 1840 and 1843 respectively. So the public sector bank in India emerged with the nationalization of banks, which is Imperial Bank of India, 27th January 1921. So here during 19th century we had three different banks named Bank of Bengal and the Presidency Bank and the other two presidency bank were the Bank of Bombay and the Bank of Madras. So these three banks were merged and re-established bank naming Imperial Bank of India on 27 January 1921. Okay. In 1921, presidency banks of Bengal, Bombay, Madras with their 70 branches were merged to Imperial Bank, acting as central bank. So the Imperial Bank of India was acting in a sense it has all the functioning, were all controlling in terms of banking system during the 19th century. So it was acting as a central banking. So the central bank, it was a banker to banks, and it was acting as a commercial banks, and it was acting as a banker to government as well. So it was playing a very important role in terms of central bank during 19th century. So merging the three banks, which is Bank of Bengal, Bank of Calcutta, and Bank of Madras. Yes, so merging all these three banks, it was re-established as Imperial Bank of India. Okay. So it was governed by Imperial Bank of Act 1920. Later, this act was amended and established as RBI in 1935. So when RBI was established, then there was a change in the role of Imperial Bank. Most of the accounts and most of the transactions were transferred to RBI Bank. So here, Imperial soon the government so soon after the transferring the accounts to RBI, Imperial Bank of India was acting as an agent to RBI. So here comes into place of SBI associate banks. So on 30th April 1955, the Imperial Bank of India became the State Bank of India. So earlier the State Bank of India was known as Imperial Bank of India. So moving ahead, government passed the State Bank of India Act, enabling the State Bank of India to take over 8 former states associated banks as its subsidiaries. So that's how by Act of State Bank of India Act, we had the another 7 subsidiaries in order to SBI associate banks. We have State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur. We have State Bank of Hyderabad, State Bank of Indore, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Patiala, State Bank of Saurashtra, State Bank of Travancore. So these were the banks being associated based on the State Bank of India Act. So the nationalization of banks. So here, the first Bank of India to be nationalized was RBI Bank of India, which happened in the January 1949. Further to that, the 14 other banks were nationalized in the year 1969. So nationalization was the process where the most of the private banks were converted into a public sector banks. Okay, the purpose of nationalization is to promote rapid growth in agricultural, small industries and export, to encourage new entrepreneurs to develop all backward areas. So these were the banks were nationalized in the year 1969. We have Allahabad Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Central Bank of India, Canara Bank, Dana Bank, Indian Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, Punjab National Bank, Syndicate Bank, UCO Bank, Union Bank of India, United Bank of India, and another with the second stage of nationalization in 1980. So Punjab and Sindh Bank, Vijaya Bank, Oriental Bank of India, Corporation Bank, Mandra Bank. So these were the banks were nationalized during 1980. So here, so nationalization is where the conversion of private banks to public banks. So what was the reason behind, or what is the purpose behind nationalization is to propel the economic development by controlling the resources. We had a financial resources, but they were all under with the private investors. So somewhere government was not able to cope up with the financial necessities and the services to provide to its public. So it wanted to take the control in terms of banking sector in Indian system. So to meet the credit of priority sector. So if anything has an economic sector, if anything has to be focused in terms of priority, it was not able to meet in terms of the financial services. So by having a control on public sector's bank, so to meet such necessities or priority, so bank took, or a government took a decision in order to establish the nationalization of banks to encourage balanced regional development. Somewhere the private sector banks were established at the urban areas and they were not able to reach in order to rural areas. So somewhere by nationalizing the banks, the government had the control on banking system where they were able to expand its financial services to semi-urban and rural areas as well. Greater control of RBI. The government wanted to have and control of all the banks under the RBI, so they almost converted the private banks into a public banks in order to have a greater control by RBI to bring out the strong stability in banking structure. So when the banks were under private investors, the controlling the banks was such difficult because they were the banks were laid the higher rates of interest in terms of loans, and the pressure in terms of uh, you know the private owners were more towards the profit making establishment, so it was not somewhere helping or in terms of economic development. So to bring out that strong stability in banking structure, the government felt the nationalization is quite important. Preservation of money lenders and exploitation of the poor. So somewhere by private investors there was an exploitation in terms of high rate of interest for the loans being provided by the banks. So to prevent that money lenders exploit money lenders and the exploitation of poor in terms of financial necessities, so government has took the decision for nationalization. So creation of employment. So by having control of banks and under the control of government, they would establish more banks, more branches of banks, so it would somewhere generate an employment, generate more employment to the public. So this was all about the public banking and the existence of the origin of banks in Indian banking system and the nationalization of banks.